Hello everyone and welcome back to Classic Comics. So today I'm reviewing Marauders number 6. Oh boy. So I reviewed Marauders number 1 back when this Dawn of X reboot first started. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. It's pretty good. But to make a long story short, I didn't like it at all. And I didn't like the writing. The art was meh. I disliked it so much that I didn't really even bother reviewing the following issues. But I was at the comic shop and saw Marauders number 6 and figured, what the heck. I'll take another look and see if it's gotten any better. So has it? Yeah, kinda. So this is the same creative team. Gerry Duggan writing, Matteo Lalli doing the line art. Cover, not particularly good. So we start off, we get a quick recap of what's going on. So Shinobi Shaw's ship, the Upstart, sent out a distress signal from Madripoor after coming under fire from the agents of Homines Verendi, a mysterious new organization that means to tear down the new age of mutant kind. Captain Kate Pride and her crew sailed the Marauder to Madripoor hoping to rescue Shinobi and the refugee mutants in his care, but were intercepted by Hatemonger and X-ecutioner. Okay. And so we jump right into the story. Hatemonger, X-ecutioner are attacking the mutants. Iceman is down. And then Kitty saves him. She pulls him down through the deck of the ship, down below decks, and tells him to wait here because, you know, he's useless, just like in the first issue. And then she saves Pyro because he needs saving too. Then X-ecutioner tries to stab her. It goes through her and then stabs Pyro. And we find out that he's had this little miniature sub injected into him, into his body. And the guy in this sub, he's working for this Homines Verendi, organization, which is a bunch of kids, it seems. And they've put this guy inside a mutant because they want to get more information about the mutants and about Krakoa, etc., etc. And let me see. I'm going to skip a little bit here. Okay. So Kitty jumps onto this other ship, and we find that Donald Pierce is there. Donald Pierce is the cyborg who used to be in the Hellfire Club, but he actually hates mutants, so he parted ways with them, and apparently he's behind all this. So Kitty fights them, and I'm going to skip a little bit here. Storm winds up throwing him off the ship into the water. And then look who shows up after the action's all over. Because, again, Iceman is useless. And so inside the ship, there's a whole cargo hold full of armored suits that have mutant dampening abilities to them. And they want to take the armored suits back to Krakoa so that Forge and Beast can take a closer look at them. And they decide that the rest of them will go ahead and Kitty will take the ship with the suits back herself. Storm suggests that Iceman go with Kitty, but he's kind of reluctant to. And she says, that's right, you can go. And then Iceman says, I've got to be a guest judge on Drag Race this week. Really? Okay. So anyway, the X-Men depart. And then a funny thing happened. Because so far, this had been pretty much just like the first issue. The writing is, not particularly good. The characterizations are just very shallow. And And not just the villains. I mean, the villains are all basically just two-dimensional cardboard cutouts that Kitty walks around and kicks over. But even the heroes aren't particularly cleverly portrayed or anything. And then we've got the art, which is, I mean, it's not bad, but, you know, it's this kind of, it's clearly got this manga influence to it. And I just don't feel like it suits what they're doing in this reboot. You know, if you look at the other books, like at X Factor or at X-Men, you know, they got some pretty, what's the word? I don't want to say naturalistic, but more kind of naturalistic looking art in them, I guess you would say, but more gritty, more kind of detailed. Whereas there's not a lot of detail. It's more cartoonish. And it just feels kind of out of place with what you see in the other X-Men books. I just don't think it fits well here. But again, the book, it winds up surprising me. So Kitty's alone on the ship, and then she gets attacked by Sebastian Shaw, who is hiding on the ship, and he subdues Lockheed. And then Kitty's going to attack him, but then he throws down these Krakoan vines that grow quickly, and they bind up Kitty, and she can't phase out of them. Now, if you remember from the first issue, Kitty can't use the gateways that all the other mutants use to travel to Krakoa. That's why she's on this ship, or at least that's part of the reason. Because for some reason, the Krakoan organic technology won't work on her. It thwarts her phasing power for some reason, so she can't phase through these vines, and now she's trapped. And then Shaw kind of explains, of course, he explains his evil plan, of course, and basically he set all this up. This was all him, and he's planning a takeover of Krakoa, basically, of this mutant nation that Xavier is building, and he's actually conspiring with humans to do it. And then he throws Lockheed overboard into the ocean, and then he blows a hole in the ship, and the ship sinks with Kitty on it. And Kitty says, well, look, they'll just bring me back. This isn't going to work, you know, because they can resurrect me. And Shaw says, well, no, I don't think they can. You know, you can't use the gateways. You can't phase through those tentacles. I don't think that the resurrection system on Krakoa is going to work on you either. I think if you die here, you're really going to be dead. So long. and the boat sinks and Kitty drowns. And then we get this shot and look at him. This is what I'm talking about. He looks like he just caught a Pokemon. So it's just, I just don't feel like it's a good choice stylistically. But yeah, so I mean, this last part here really threw me. A good twist. I never saw it coming. The good guys, and particularly Kitty, because this is basically Kitty's book. You know, the others are all basically just her sidekicks. Kitty gets outwitted, she gets outmaneuvered, and then she gets killed. The stakes get raised, and I was impressed. And so I started thinking, man, I'm going to have to reevaluate this book. But then I stopped and I thought, well, so how much of this is really Duggan? And how much of this is maybe Jonathan Hickman? Because I'm pretty sure that all these books in this new X-Men reboot, I'm pretty sure that even though they're different writers, I'm pretty sure they're all following Hickman's plan. You know, he sort of plotted everything out. And even these other writers are basically kind of following the plot points that he laid out. That's what I think. So how much of this is really Duggan and how much of this was Hickman? Because honestly, everything else I've seen from Duggan, it doesn't really make me think that he's this clever and that he would have been able to come up with this. So, is the book better? Yeah, it is, actually, a little bit better. Is it good enough to buy? No. Still no. Not at $4.99. Not at $4.99. You know, if it was $3.99, then maybe. Actually, probably not even then. $2.50 maybe. But I am intrigued enough by this that, I think I'll try the next couple of issues, and who knows, maybe Duggan can win me over. And I can start recommending this book. We'll see. So, now, how about you folks? Have you read this comic? And if so, what did you think? Did you like it? Not like it? Let me hear from you. You can sound off in the comments, or you can hit me up on Twitter at Comics Classic on Twitter. And if you like this content, please do hit the like button on your way out, and please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.